getting ready to start planning our experiment now, and part of that is designing it, which is going to include things like making a materials list and writing out your steps for your procedure. So, first thing here is designing your experiment. Says clearly write out the procedure you're going to follow. Remember, your experiment needs to follow the scientific process, and you need to have one variable you're going to change. That's the independent variable. There are three variables in a scientific experiment: independent, dependent, and controlled. The independent variable, I'm going to do some circling here so it stands out, is the one you will change. Okay? The dependent variable are the ones you're going to observe. And the controlled variables are the ones that remain constant and allow you to understand how it would react under normal circumstances. So we can think back to when we did our plants project this year in class and we tested the different things. Remember how we had to have one plant for each? We couldn't have the independent variable was the plant's need, the one thing that we changed. So we couldn't say, oh, I'm going to not water this plant and not give it air, because then we wouldn't be able to observe and see which one was having an effect. So we had to change one thing at a time. Just like in my example I've been using about plants and music. If you're doing that project and you take your one plant and you put it in the closet, and you put one plant in front of the window, and then you play music for the one in the window and you don't for the one in the closet, well, if the one in the closet dies, is it because it didn't get any sunlight, or is it because it didn't get any music? So you can't have two different things you're testing. You have to keep everything the same, the controlled part. Sorry, my dog's barking at the garbage man. You have to keep everything the same except what you want to test. Alright, if you need help with this, I would recommend that you either send me an email if you're not sure, or you can ask your parents. They probably can help you. But here's where you can make a list of what am I testing. So for plants, right, it would be type of music. The dependent ones, the things that I'm observing and measuring, I'm measuring maybe how they grow, whatever. And what am I controlling? They're all getting water, they're all getting sunlight, they're all getting air, they're all the same type of plant, because if I'm growing a strawberry and a bean, they might grow differently. Okay, so keeping things controlled. You're going to make this list real quick for your project. Some of you may have a lot of things here. Some of you might not have very much at all, right? If I'm testing how well my dog can learn, I'm not going to have that many things because I'm testing with just my one dog. But it wouldn't be fair if I was testing this and I used my dog and my cat and my guinea pig and I was comparing them, because they're different kind of animals and it wouldn't be even. So hopefully that makes sense, and those are some examples. The next thing is listing all of your materials. So it says list all the materials needed to complete the experiment. Be specific about the type, size, and brand. So if I'm doing plants, I could put soil, and maybe I'm going to do a bullet pointed list, maybe I'm going to number it. But soil doesn't actually help me. What I want to put is 6 cups of potting soil. So now it's specific. If I want to do your experiment and I see this list, I know how much I have to buy and what type. Alright? So be as specific as you can. If I'm doing my dog, I'm not just going to put dog. I'm going to put 10-year-old golden retriever, because that's the type of dog I'm using for my project. And it might be different if you use a Great Dane or a Chihuahua. Okay? So be as specific as you can. The next part of this is writing out your procedure. Now, write each step of your experiment. Remember to number each step and clearly explain what to do. Other scientists should be able to follow the same steps and get similar results. So this is numbered. So number 1, for most of us, number 1 is going to be the same. It's going to be gather the materials. So gather materials. And then I'm going to say number 2. What's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to write this out. Some of us are going to have 5 steps. Some of us are going to have 15. Just depends on your project. Okay. If you need to see examples of this, you can Google procedure science fair examples. There's lots of great samples on the internet. I also did a little sample on Google Classroom. Okay, but this is numbered. It doesn't have to be super long. It should be able to be followed by someone else, though. So that means if I'm making cookies, I can't just say put sugar in. Think about a recipe. You're going to say add 1/2 cup of sugar to the eggs. It's going to be very specific. So try to be specific so that it can be followed by someone else, but it doesn't have to be a whole paragraph. Okay? If you have questions about this, please make sure that you ask. It kind of can be a lot if you haven't done it before.